Wishing for a Christmas mortgage miracle? Patriot Trading Group wants to make your wish come true. Just enter to win on Family Values Radio website, and you can enjoy your mortgage paid for all of 2020. That's right, it's the Christmas Mortgage Miracle Contest, where if you win, you'll have all kinds of extra money the entire year for a vacation, new clothes, new giant screen TV with whole home audio, whatever else may be on your wish list, because the winner will receive their mortgage or rent payments covered for all of 2020. To enter, go to FamilyValuesRadio1010.com and click on the banner. Enter once each day to increase your chances to win and look for bonus entry opportunities. That's FamilyValuesRadio1010.com and enter the Christmas Mortgage Miracle Contest, sponsored by Patriot Trading Group. Contest ends December 20th. See our website for details.
Hey, hi, good morning and welcome to another edition of the Patriot Radio News Hour. We are rocking and firing this morning from beautiful frozen Johnstown, Colorado. And this show's brought to you by the Patriot Trading Group. Legal, lawful, constitutional tender. Great performing investment, by the way. Gold's up 17% this year. And you get to hold it. You get to hang on to it. Nadler can't take it from you. They can't impeach you out of it. You just put it away. Hope you never need it. If you want to get you some, you can call 1-800-951-0592. You can also head out to the website, allamericangold.com. You can hear those spots by Sebastian Gorka. Joe is amazing. The celebrity spokesman he's getting lined up. Only takes 25 years, and the credibility is starting to set in.
Well, you need some time to build the reputation.
Joe and I are up here at the mothership. You're listening live on KXXT 1010. Ramon's running the board down there, an excellent producer. And Jason up here in Colorado, incredible man. I mean, I've been up here. This is my second day getting to meet everybody, and I'm just stunned. I mean, it's really something to be a part of this network. Another thing that goes back a quarter century with Patriot Trading Group. It is amazing that we'd still be sitting here, or I'd still be sitting here. A lot of the people that used to be sitting here are no longer with us. So, and it's a solemn day. And I mean that when I say it, not Nancy Pelosi, sad, solemn, but solemn. The tyranny in this country. And, you know, I don't use that word lightly. And you probably may have said it in a quarter century of broadcasting, maybe twice. But make no mistake about what you're watching and what you're witnessing today. And I wonder if the Republicans will rise up. I mean, will the conservatives rise up? I mean, the president's holding a rally tonight, I think in Ohio. But will we rise up? Will there be great marches at the Reflection Pond in D.C.? Will people storm Capitol Hill in protest? That you just can't take a select group of people and decide to kick a president out of office. Disgusting. You know, and I'd like to have a revolution. I'd like to head the revolution, but the Republican revolution I don't think will work as well as the Democrat revolutions because we can't get the day off. 1-800-951-0592 is the business line for Patriot Trading Group. If I didn't get that out in the very beginning. It's you people in Phoenix. I mean, you had hailstorms in Phoenix. I'm up here in Colorado yesterday, and the sun is shining. I don't know, it's 40 degrees, 50 degrees up here. And my wife sends me a text of the roads in Phoenix are covered with sleet from hail. So it's weird. You know, the climate change that they want to tax us into submission with. And certainly they can't use global warming anymore when it's hailing in Phoenix and, sunny in Colorado. So my flight up was interesting. I'll tell you, everybody wants to be a star. I flew American Airlines up, and they do the credit card pitch. You know, you get the X amount of miles. You get, if you fill out the credit card, you get this many miles, your trip will be free. And usually, you know, it sounds like the microphone at a Jack in the Box, you know, the steward eye making their best presentation. This gal starts talking about the credit card miles and then says, you can fly to Poland, and she says, you take a vacation down to the Caribbean. And I mean, she did a 5-minute radio show. I mean, that was amazing for a stewardess. I'm like, you know, everybody wants to get in the act. And by the way, we got her phone number, so she might be broadcasting here. And then I got a new one too. So I get these things out. I rented a car from Payless, and Payless, I was a Chevy, I don't know what it is, a little Chevy Equinox, little mini SUV. And so I get there, and they go to give me a Mitsubishi, and I clicked on it. It said Chevy. When I made my reservations online, that's what it was, and I didn't read that it said or like. I just thought, okay, it's a Chevy. So I go to rent the car. They sign out, and they go, we're giving you a Mitsubishi today. And I go, no, I don't want a Mitsubishi. I don't drive foreign-made automobiles. It's just a weird quirk in my life. I want the American Chevy. And they go, well, we don't have one. We don't have one in your price range, sir. I'm like, well, this is a problem. So, because I now work at the American Freedom Network. You hear that? The American Freedom Network, and I'm not driving a foreign automobile to the American Freedom Network, 50 miles north of the airport. So after many calls, they decided that they went to the very next level up that they could get and found me an American car. I'm driving a Jeep Gladiator. So if you want to get upgraded, just tell them, it was just an accident, but I think I'm on to something here. That just tell them you don't want a foreign car. And I know that sounds crazy, but we had a customer, and this is when all the globalism first started, really in the 90s, where GM secretly moved their plants down to the maquiladoras down in Mexico. And, one of the first on your VIN number, one is America. So if you look at the VIN on your American-made car, one, if it starts with a one, it's made in America. Two, it's made in Canada. And three, Mexico. So that's the very first digit in your vehicle identification number. So if you, customer of mine bought a brand new Suburban up here in Colorado. This was in the 90s, and we were broadcasting right here in this booth. And he got home, and he realized that it was made in Mexico. Now, car dealers never like to unwind deals. Never. But he went down there and said, I bought an American-made car, and I want an American-made Suburban. And they apparently, after some wrangling, that they fulfilled his request. So anyway, it's a beautiful day to be alive on this 10th day of December. The wicked left is going after our president. Remember that? Not my president? That's what I mean now. Not my president. You ain't going to get him. Patriot Radio News Hour. Rocking and firing this morning, live from the mothership here in Colorado. It's a great day to be alive, and I hope this finds you well. The president, I find what's interesting also, the Republicans, you don't see anybody warming up in the bullpen to run for president, do you?
They haven't called for the lefty.
Yeah, give me the left. Why? What's that all about? So wouldn't you think that there'd be a contingency plan? Because yes, the president's impeached. He cannot run again.
Oh, is that the? So that is the rule.
He's done. So and Nadler was quite clear about it in his opening statements today. Like, why don't you wait? Why don't you wait until you have witnesses, until you have a real case? So there's no bribery. Okay, there's no whatever. There was no obstruction of justice and all these buzzwords they had made. So now there's obstruction of Congress.
Obstruction of Congress. What it be for Trump blasting people that were testifying, that had no knowledge of anything. They weren't on the phone calls. They didn't hear the conversations. But well, I heard it from my brother's sister's cousin's college former roommate stepsister's dog that this is what happened.
And then abuse of power. So if this is really a charge, I'm going to tell you, I'd like to go back about 50 years to my grade school and impeach the vice principal. You talk about abuse of power. So, it's just incredible. So none of the charges are, groundbreaking, right, earth-shattering, criminal. They had to parade a litany of experts across constitutional law, citing the Constitution by these are the people, by the way, that want to open up the borders. Okay, they want free trade and want free borders, and they want, socialism. These are the people that are citing the Constitution on national television.
Right? We didn't even talk about the Saudi guy that was in the country training that killed U.S. service members and all these things. The amount of foreigners, not people just say, oh, it's Mexico and it's Central Americans that are coming across that border. There's record numbers of Africans, and there's record numbers of Arabs and Muslims all coming across that border.
They don't know. Could be anything. It's interesting you bring that up, because where are the riots in the street? Where is the uproar? Half the country voted for this president. Where is the uproar? I mean, it's just amazing. It's not there. You know why? And I think one of the reasons is they've diluted this country so much and dumbed down the entire population. You're 30 and under right now. I mean, you've grown up on illegal labor and Chinese goods, technology, video games. They don't care. I think they really don't care the outcome either way. They don't.
I guarantee you they don't.
They don't.
Yep. I think that's right. It's just empathy. Lack of.
In the 60s, man, in the 60s, right now, half the country would be rioting.
Oh, they'd be fired up.
And it'd be all the young, the next generation, the young people in this country. They don't care. Of course, what percentage of them really speak English, I mean, it really is amazing. It's amazing. What percentage of the 20 and unders in this country? I mean, they did a thing that 30% of the households, 30% across the country are non-English speaking. Stop and think about that. And when you go into places like South LA or, Tucson, Phoenix, I mean, it's amazing. The numbers are staggering. Well, you got to understand that you talk about. Now, Nadler said today that we have to do this. The reason we're not waiting is we have to do this so the president cannot manipulate another election. That's what he said today. This was an exact quote.
How is he manipulating election? I still haven't figured that out. Either. They've been talking about this for a long time now. We know the Democrats did, right? We know they did. And we know they made up like the Steele dossier and did all this other stuff. They put a spy into President Trump's election team. And I mean, they did all of these things.
How is opening up borders and importing 50 million people who don't speak English and letting them vote? Is that manipulating an election?
I just want them to say what it was he did. Very clear, simply. So, obviously I am suffering from lack of intelligence because I cannot figure out yet what it is that he did at this election to manipulate. I still haven't figured it out.
You didn't listen to the Stanford law professor?
I didn't.
I talked about Barron Trump, not going to be a Barron. You didn't listen to her.
Well, I heard her. I heard the snippets.
This is, if you see, nobody gets it. So if you have to do that, if you have to bring Stanford and Harvard and Yale to explain to the dumbed down public why this is a crime, little Johnny, there's no crime. People still know in any language the difference between right and wrong. It doesn't need to be explained to people, and least of all by flaming liberal conservative haters. Okay, at least of all to explain it. The people are angry. I mean, I think the left is going to underestimate how angry the country is over.
The left is angry. Are we angry?
I think we are. I think they're underestimating it. I think there's a swell as this is progressing. So
I will say I'm scared for the election cycle to really begin.
It's going to be nuts
because
Trump might not be in it.
Last time, the conservatives took it. Right? They got spit at, they got punched at, they got kicked, they got, stuff thrown at them, and they took it. I don't think they're going to take it this time.
So I think there's a steam rising. So we'll see. I mean, the country's heading for. Do you understand that? And the fact that the laissez-faire attitude throughout society today is a little bit alarming, but there may be a trigger point, something that triggers it, and we're not here yet because I don't think people still believe it's real. They don't believe the president could be impeached for a telephone call with hundreds of people listening. And what's interesting is it's over the vice president's son who illegally got a job. They're not investigating him, all right, which they should be. And whether now when you go to the next hearing phase here, it's the Senate that sets up, is that right? The House or the Senate that set up, the House sets up the rules. So there's rules to this. This isn't a court where you got Perry Mason, where they look into the crowd.
Where's Johnny Cochran?
Right, and Hunter Biden's in the very back row. And he's watching, really, and he's hiding, and Perry Mason looks, and the defense calls Hunter Biden. Okay, it isn't that way. They're only going to, there's a certain protocol they have to follow. It's
Here's
not
what the rules are going to be. The Republicans get to call no witnesses, right? They get to do nothing, and we get to parade a bunch of people who never had any knowledge of anything come up here and just say whatever they'd like.
Bill Cosby. Yeah, there's a but it was funny. He did a funny bit in the 60s about coin tosses before games. And why don't they have coin tosses before wars? Captain Sitting Bull, this is Captain Custer. All right, call it in the air, Cuss.
All right, you guys are going to defend the north side of the battlefield, and the Confederate, you're gonna get the south side, and the Indians, you're on offense first.
Right, we get to shoot from behind rocks and trees, and your men must wear red and march in a straight line. So yeah, I mean I don't know if that's what they're going to do. They should have a coin toss. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be
for the impeachment hearings. I don't know. So you're listening to the Patriot Radio News.
If the Democrats are in charge, it's going to be heads they win, tails you lose. You know that if there was a coin toss and the Democrats were making the rules, that's how it'd go down.
Yeah, that's right. So now, of course, the Democrats would have a two-sided coin. But we're at the point here where, you don't understand, I think, the real ramifications of this. The elite that was out there, they got to be careful. If they start putting out bad business news and start driving the equity markets down, it's going to wake up the rich people. The rich people are going to go, hey, knock it off. You see, Wall Street's held together through all this. I don't know what it's doing today.
It's down a little bit today. Stories breaking everywhere. We are getting ready. They may have to make it official. The central bank may have to finally call QE4. The repo markets are blowing up again. The banks don't have any money. It's a simple problem. We've created all of this debt. And now everybody's had enough of it. Now they're like, hey, listen, I'm cash poor now, right? I don't have enough cash because I got all these treasury bills. And every week, every 2 weeks, the central bank says, we'll buy more, we'll buy more, we'll buy more, we'll buy more. And it's not enough. And now apparently they're talking about another one of these year-end. Remember, it was the end of the quarter crunch. Now we're going to have an end of the year crunch.
Well, if the Trump administration was smart, they would get a hold of the Economic Stabilization Fund, the ESF, and then they control the press as well. The president's got to have some power in this country, and you're starting to see some of the bad economic news starting to come out. Business economists breaking today see the U.S. slowing but avoiding recession. The nation's business economists expect U.S. economic growth to decelerate this year and next, but for the economy to avoid stumbling into recession, extending the record-breaking expansion already now in its 11th year. Remember, I always learned in my limited business classes before I became a doctorate as a CEO that the economy would move in 7-year cycles. And, I've studied that a little, and, there are certain economic trends that can be tracked in the past, but nobody really knows. But the one thing that in history that seems to ring true is societies and currencies only last about 200 years. So
that's usually the life
that's
cycle.
Pretty good. So I don't know if we're sitting here, if we are we're going to be lucky enough to be on this earth to witness the final cycle for the current monetary system of the Federal Reserve note. I mean, obviously there is alternative currencies, and We got a credit card machine that takes Apple Pay. Is that right? Coming in,
yeah.
Apple Pay. I don't even know
Google
what it
Pay,
is.
I don't know.
Google Pay it takes it. So the banks are getting set up for that as well. Well,
the Chinese getting ready for the national electronic currency. They're going to be first. You heard Treasury Secretary Mnuchin and Jay Powell say, "Hey, we don't need that right now." But we think we got about 5 more years. So there you go. They kind of laid out a time frame for when you got about 5 years before you got problem. Let's see. That coincides with Trump wins the election. I
don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be crazy times. The talk show markets are getting ready to explode again. So just get ready. The people are going to start listening as this progresses. The coming hearings should get pretty good attention now since they have leveled charges. But if it's set up where the defense gets to call witnesses, like the Bidens, the Clintons, I mean, I couldn't imagine that. You talk about kicking a bee's nest, Nadler and Schiff. Now, how about Maxine Waters standing up there? You didn't see it this morning. She was standing next to them while they're leveling charges. And I mean, her and her husband have taken more political graft than Trump has casinos. So, the queen of the swamp, it's just disgusting. It's tyranny. But, if they can get the president and they can get the votes to get it done, they obviously must think they have them. So, and if it doesn't work, can you imagine what the election's going to look like?
They have it in the House because it'll be along party lines,
right?
But it'll never get through the Senate.
Never get through the Senate.
Now, that's just my opinion. I mean,
that's why the Republicans don't have anyone throwing in the bullpen right now.
I think that's it. The whole thing is let them go ahead.
I figure there'll be no defection.
It's not hurting us in the polls.
If McCain was still with us, they could
right now.
If
we had McCain and Flake and some of these other, I'd be a little worried right now. I mean, you still got to worry about Romney and a few others, but I just don't think they have it.
Well, it's halftime here on this beautiful Tuesday in December. Merry Christmas to you and your family. I got 14 shopping days left. We'll be back.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily commentary continuing the conservative pro-family legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
Sanctuary cities are a big problem for the rule of law. But we have a man in office who's doing something about it. President Trump's effective Solicitor General filed a petition with the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn California's Senate Bill 54, a law which requires officials there to obstruct deportation. The law means that California law enforcement can't work with federal authorities to get illegal aliens sent back to their home countries. The Ninth Circuit upheld the California sanctuary city law despite admitting it makes the job of federal immigration authorities more difficult, and even discriminates against federal officials performing their duties. It shouldn't surprise you to hear that the Ninth Circuit decisions are often reversed. They upheld the law on the theory that California retains the right to obstruct federal law based on the 10th Amendment. It's a distortion of states' rights to uphold state laws defying federal law enforcement on illegal immigration. These state laws impose expenses on other states by attracting more illegal border crossings. Solicitor General Noel Francisco explained it like this. Aliens are present and may remain in the United States only as provided for under the auspices of federal immigration law. It therefore is the United States, not California, that retains the right to set the conditions under which aliens in this country may be detained, released, and removed. Even though Solicitor General Francisco's words ring with the unmistakable sound of truth, Democrats in California see many future voters for their party among the swarms of illegal immigrants flowing over the southern border. That state has lurched leftward as it attracts more illegal aliens with its sanctuary cities. But as Trump's Solicitor General further elaborates, when officers are unable to arrest aliens, often criminal aliens, who are in the removal proceedings or have been ordered removed from the United States, those aliens are disproportionately likely to commit crimes. The result is that every sanctuary city undermines public safety, immigration enforcement, and the rule of law. Both voters and the Supreme Court should totally reject all sanctuary city laws. The rule of law is a foundational principle of American governance and must be respected.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report with Ed Martin, president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. What's the latest on building the wall to protect our southern border? To the liberal media, it's a joke. But the crisis of illegal aliens is no laughing matter. At phyllisschlafly.com, we're asking serious questions regarding what to build, who's paying for it, and how best to deploy our military. Go to phyllisschlafly.com and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Hey, you're listening to Patriot Radio News Hour. Thanks for tuning in. Year 24 or 25 here. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to allow us into it. We work hard to get the news out to you in a semi-lucid fashion with a little tact, poise, and reason, and we gently season you. So thank you. This show is brought to you by the Patriot Trading Group, 1-800-951-0592, the very best in hard assets. They do it better than anybody in this country. No bait and switch, no games, no would you like fries with that when you order. Just take care of the people and have complaint free for quarter century. 1-800-951-0592 or go out to allamericangold.com and give them a try. So add to your stocking stuffers. If you're here in Colorado, you can come right in and they'll take care of you. If you want to get something, a gift, I noticed a few people already in this week since I've been here yesterday and this morning have already come in. It's a great thing. You had something, I used to hand out silver dollars to the kids and they're all grown up now, but there's nothing like the look when I'd hand them one and they'd look at it and every kid was different.
You had them a silver eagle or a silver round, maybe a roll of dimes, roll of quarters, roll of $50, something neat like that. I mean, roll of dimes, we're running them on sale at $67.50. I mean, it's not that much, right? A roll of quarters is $135. A roll of $50, $140. Maybe you just want to buy a silver round, a silver round for like $20, and I just bet Paul, it's so funny when you meet customers who've been buying from us for 2 decades or 10 years, 5 years, and I've never met them in person before. That's the kind of trust that people have with us. That's the reputation that we have. I just bet Paul from Evans was in and picking up product, getting a few stocking stuffers and whatnot. And it was hilarious because I said, "Hey, Paul, what's your last name?" He told me his last name, and I'm like, "Oh, of course, right? You've been buying it forever
For 20 years.
right?
Become friends with people. And Phoenix as well.
Yeah.
You do the same thing in Phoenix.
Yep.
Right down there, you got Arlene and Wendy. They're running the zoo. So it is a zoo now.
By the way, I know this major shipping day today out of Phoenix. So we had obviously Thanksgiving holiday, then the station. So we had a lot going on. Wendy is everybody. When I left the office, if your invoice had been paid by last Friday, everybody is going out the door today out of the Phoenix office. So for those of you out-of-towners waiting on shipments, they're on their way.
Amazing. Yesterday you touched on it, and I want to talk about it. Paul Volcker.
Yeah, passing away, sure.
At age 92. Paul Volcker was the guy who killed the gold rally in 1980.
Yes, he crushed inflation.
He killed it.
And really, the guy that really killed inflation was Alan Greenspan, because he said, "Hey, let's get rid of the way we calculate inflation because it's making us look bad."
Right, that was
right. Brilliant.
So, yeah, and seasonally adjusting.
Adjust things, replace things. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. But we made it better. So even though it cost, that shouldn't count.
The GDP.
Right, the GNP to the GDP. Right, let's change how we count unemployment. I mean, all of it. Hey, I don't like these answers. I got a great idea. Let's just change the question, shall we?
Right, it was brilliant. Yeah, Greenspan did. But what did Volcker do? He had to raise. He kept raising interest rates.
I believe the Fed's funds rate was 16 and change, and I think the 10-year note was approaching 20%.
1981, I bought a used Chevy pickup financed through Valley National Bank, who, by the way, had a currency cage. You could buy gold and silver
back in the day
from Valley National Bank in Phoenix downtown. You could go down there and buy Krugerrands from them. So, but I financed a 2-year-old Chevy 4x4 truck in 1981. So it was a 79 for a whopping price of $3,800. And the interest rate was 27%.
About right.
Yep. So
27%.
How about that? But you know what? If you had $100,000, which is a lot of money, probably like $1 million today. If you had $100,000 in the bank, you could get 23% on a CD.
Right.
I mean, think about that.
Yep.
You could get enough interest to buy a home in North Scottsdale on $100,000. Today, if you put $100,000 in the bank, after fees, you owe them about $12.
Yeah, you're losing money.
In a year, you owe them $12. So, I mean, it's just amazing what's happened. And now they want to go. I mean, think about the negative interest rates, that where the rest of the world is gone,
I've got bad news for everybody, and I want things to go well. I do. Interest rates here, they're not done. We're going lower again. All the news that I've seen today, with these repo markets and all of this, the national debt, the first 2 months of this year, up another 17%. Now they're saying the small number this year, the small one, is going to be $1.2 to $1.3 trillion. You would think GDP with that kind of debt would be 4, 5, 6%.
Let me ask you something. If you have a negative interest rate on a Cadillac Escalade, do they pay you $1,000 a month? Now there's a carload a guy could go for. So I don't think it's going to work that way.
I don't know. It's really bizarre,
yeah,
right?
I know.
But again, it punishes the savers out there. The great line, and I heard it for the first 3-4 years I was with Eric about how gold doesn't pay interest. And I know Eric heard it for decades. You don't want to own gold. It doesn't pay interest. Like they had this great thing. Now, of course, they don't pay interest.
Now they got a thing going around on Facebook that, some board meeting, and of course it's a gal, the CEO, and they're looking at a gold commercial where they're showing, rocks and tonnage and everything. And she's like the smart one. She goes, no, we're just going to buy a gold spider through Bitcoin. Okay. This is her brilliant idea, gold's a bad idea. So, and I talked about it yesterday. I think you were on the plane that if you're under 30 years old, I think the chance of you ever holding a U.S. $20 gold piece in your hand is the lowest percentage ever in the history of this country. How about that? You'll never see one. Never. So they're just getting snapped up everywhere.
Right. They're like, wait, but how does it go in my phone?
They're expensive. Right.
How does it get in my, I don't know what to do.
It's amazing. And I started to say, you hand kids silver dollars. Some kids were like, give it to their mom. And some kids were more like the way I grew up. I'd hand it to him, and he'd say, did my parents see this? In the pocket it went.
What did he give you? Nothing.
Thank you. Thanks for that. They have a little stash, I always had a stash. I still do, So you got to have a get out of town box, you never know when you got to bug out. So anyway, it's been an honor here, and I'm still here. So President Donald Trump has added more than 7 million jobs during his time in office. And I know that's a fact. Right now, I have 3 of them. So,
that's how. Welcome to the new economy. You're adjusting well.
I like it. Unretired. Me and Motley Crue. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after these messages. Yeah, the blind leading the stupid right here. I'm Tuesday's child. Tuesdays and Thursdays sit in with Patriot Trading Group. Sat in with Jason here at the mothership on their hour this afternoon. I'll probably do the same, Joe and I. So a lot of fun. People coming in the door, meeting people. It's amazing.
Yeah, come on out and say hello.
Come on up and say hi. Yeah, we're open. The lights are on.
The lights are on, yeah. And there's rumors of heat going to be on before the end of the week, possibly. So
got the little electric heater. Joe didn't get here yesterday, so he had the big electric heater in his office. So I put it in my office. This morning I show up, big electric heater. It's back in Joe's office.
Listen, I be here.
The early bird gets the heat in Colorado. So
I beat everybody here by a couple of hours. So
that's your plan. I guess.
I may not be the sharpest guy, but I know that if I get here first, I can get the best heater.
You're becoming Trump-esque. So how late were you here last night? I mean, you were working on proposals.
Yeah, I was here. You know what? I don't want to stretch. I was here about 7:30.
No, that's not bad. But you flew in too.
Yeah, so. I did fly.
His arms were tired. So very tired.
It's a lot of flapping between here and Phoenix.
Yeah. So, I had a good flight though coming up. So
mine was not.
See, you've been having bad luck. His rental car's broken down. I get free upgrades.
So last week,
Now, you have an American car at least?
Last week I did.
Yeah, this week no.
Nope.
No.
And
the check engine lights on. The heater
second week in a row. So last week I drive up right as I got on the 60 to Johnstown. My tire, low tire warning comes on, and I stop at the 7-Eleven and I fill that with air. And by the time I didn't even get to make the turn on to Parrish, my engine light came on. That was last week. This week, I'm in the car this morning, and it's 5-something in the morning. There's ice on the, I got to defrost the car. I turn it on. I got the defrosters running. It's, I think it's freezing out there. And as I'm getting ready to go, I put the car in reverse. And not only do I get the check engine light on, I also get the
death triangle.
The death triangle light comes on, and I'm just, come on!
My flight up was sold out, except they had one first-class ticket left. And I know you think I'm going to say I got it, but the second best thing. So I got a window seat in row 7, and I get to row 7. I always wait. I don't like to get on the plane. I'm, going to sit there long enough. I don't know why people pack in early, so I'm one of the last persons. There's 2 gals sitting in the aisle in the middle seat. And one of the gals is a nice young gal, looks like my daughter, beautiful. This gal looks like Uma Thurman. I'm like, oh, all right, well, that's pretty good. So I get the window seat. It gets better. They take the gal who's at the end of the aisle seat, and they move her to first class. So the only empty seat was between me and Uma Thurman the whole flight up. So it wasn't a bad flight. And they can do it quick. When they were behind schedule, they said, flight time, get this, flight time, hour, 10 minutes. I mean, you're 900 miles from Phoenix. That is flat moving.
There's a good tailwind.
Boom.
And the flight it's not a long flight. Ours was, it was sold out, and I didn't have an empty seat. We had a bumpy ride.
Mine too.
Bumpy ride.
All flights are sold out. If you still look, even today in the quote-unquote booming economy, there's still only 2/3 of the amount of flights that there were before 2008.
Listen, if they're not sold out, they cancel.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, something happened.
I miss flying in the days. I mean, I've been on flights like to Tulsa, Oklahoma to do a coin show. There was like 4 people on it. Nobody goes to Tulsa. I mean, I've been on flights to, they used to just have standing flights every 45 minutes to San Diego.
Right, San Diego, Las Vegas, right?
Vegas. Yep. You didn't even have to call.
Nope.
It was
show up.
Pre-internet. And you go, when's the next flight? Well, it boards in 10 minutes.
How much is it? $39.
$39. You got any seats? Yeah, we got a few. Well, I'm going to go to the bar. How long till the next flight?
That's a little soon.
Yeah, I need a little more time to relax. I'm going to go have a smoke and a beer. They forget that. People in there smoking. When the light went
now
off.
everybody goes crazy on these planes, and they got to bring their service animals, and people are just flipping out. Everybody's in a bad mood.
The only time people talk is when they complain.
That's it.
Otherwise, nobody talks to anybody.
Everybody's got their headphones on, and
you can hear a pin drop.
Don't make eye contact with anybody.
If they shut the engine off and went into glider mode.
What happened?
There we go. Jason, quit playing with buttons in there. So
there's too many buttons on this board. When we bought a brand new board to help with the sound quality and be able to do all kinds of different things here at the station, I regret that there's this many buttons because Jason's like a kid.
Yeah, I know.
What does this button do? What does that one do? Let me play this one.
The problem is and it's really just radio business, but there's so many different ways the shows come in: telephone,
we need
internet, blah,
satellite,
and you're constantly adjusting it, and then
live.
So then you go back live again. They got to change all the settings, and eventually it will all just even out here. So We are bringing the American Freedom Network back from absolute oblivion, which is where it was. And we're working hard at it. And there's looks of wonder in here. And people come in, you can hear it again. They haven't been able to hear it for years. It's just going all over. Colorado's amazing. If you haven't been up here, I've been up here a long time. What was once cornfields, are now got these high density housing developments and
little suburbs.
Just in the middle of cornfields. Right. And they are everywhere. And when you fly over coming in, you can see the progression, how they're way out ahead. They're keeping up so that you can see the 160-acre tracts in various stages. Some are just flat and the corn's gone, everything's gone. Some have the roads and curbs put in. Some have the roads and curbs and houses going in. I mean, it's a factory. It's an assembly line around here.
The sprawl is coming to Colorado.
Why do you think that is, too? How'd they go 100 plus years without it? Now they can't stop it. So, I don't know. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment. Final segment here, Patriot Radio News Hour. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this finds you well as December holidays, but the country is definitely torn apart. I think we're starting to become polarized. The spectacle of impeachment has now come to fruition. They plan on seeing this through. So the endless litany and parade of litigious movements and statements will be out in front of this country at a holiday time. I noticed in my own neighborhood up in Cave Creek that the Christmas lights are about, and it isn't even close, less than a third of what they were last year. So there's definitely something afoot. I think all of this is having an effect on the psyche of the country, and it's something that could have massive ramifications heading into the election. I mean, it could literally spiral into civil war. I think we are that close, and that is not a right-wing statement. I believe that's just a solid middle-of-the-road observation. Don't you? I think that. So.
Something is here. I don't know what it is. You're right about, buddy, that the Trump administration may delay. The Jim Cramer on CNBC says, nope, he's not delaying either. Listen, if he delays, good for gold. If they come on, good for gold. Get your gold put away ahead of time. U.S. $20 Liberty gold pieces, $1,525. You got gold up $3-4 today, $1,465. U.S. $20 Liberties at $1,520. And I'll have that online as well, and I'll get all the junk silver on sale online as well for you at allamericangold.com as soon as the 592. Put some gold away, put some silver away, come up to the radio station, meet Eric, meet me, say hello, support the network, put it back where you found it. Patriot Radio News Hour, the American Freedom Network, all of its advertisers, support everybody, do the best you can out there. Most importantly, have a great rest of your day. Again, the toll-free number, 800-951-0592. Wall Street, have you seen? Nobody's in. Outflows continuing. I think it's really because the baby boomers, right? Hey, I'm retired. I need the money. The only money really flowing into Wall Street is just coming from the companies themselves buying back their own stock. But Wall Street right now, the Dow's down, the S&P and the NASDAQ are up, but they're, it's mixed, but not a lot of movement today.
Well, then again, it's just a weird time in this country. Normally the Wall Street bonuses go out at Christmas, so they can get Ferraris and whatnot. Morgan Stanley,
Wall Street pink slips.
Yeah, they grinched out, man. They grinched it. So they're cutting 1,500 jobs.
There's just not enough of the money, right? When
how can stockbrokers announce commission-free trading?
Right? On all the online stuff.
How do they stay in business? How does an electronic platform that charges money, like E-Trade or whatever, they announce that you can just trade for free now?
Well, you get your other things. You buy on margin. You want sell stops, buy stops, all that stuff. They charge more for that. That's my guess.
Maybe that's like the post office. Right. So, hey, God bless everybody. Tune in later today on KHNC. I think Joe or I definitely will be on with Jason and Brian again. God bless everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Merry Christmas and happy New Year, we still got a ways to go with that, but I wanted to get that out there. God bless you all. We'll see you. Bye now.